players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. But you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I learned that coach didn't take biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Oh, it's the morning after, and the Alabama Crimson Tide came up just short in last night's national championship game as they took on the Georgia Bulldogs, coming up just a little short, 33-18. I'm here for your therapy session. We're opening the phone lines to talk with you this morning, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Phone lines open the entirety of the show for you to call in and tell us what you're thinking. Of course, we want the good, the bad, the ugly, from last night's defeat, only the second time for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll be looking at key moments in the game, things that could have turned things one way and or the other. Also, going to give some shout outs to players from the 2021 team. Things that left me scratching my head after last night's game. Also, I got a question for you to throw out there for you to think about and answer. I know Alabama came up a little short in the national championship game, but was this Coach Nick Saban's best coaching job? Even though, or did they have to win it all for that to be the case? Because I don't think anyone would have questioned, had this team won the national title, that it would have been his best coaching job of his tenure, or the most successful, whichever way you want to qualify that. But the Taco Casa hotline is open for business, so give us a call, 205-342-9904. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Mason. How you doing, sir?
I'm a little tired. I couldn't go to sleep after that game. Kind of got my energy riled up, but I'm feeling all right. The sun is going to rise today. Everything will be all right. Alabama will be back.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. I promise you the sun's coming up. And Alabama will be back in this hunt again, especially with this team, if they can hold it together. But there was some disappointment from last night, and we'll start working those into the conversation. I was kind of mixed over which way I wanted to start the show, Mason, because this team did a lot. This team came up short. But if you had said, and like, first of all, let me give a congratulations to Georgia, to Kirby Smart, and listen, I'm going to give a shout out to Stetson Bennett. I didn't think he could do it, and the Georgia fans that are all now talking about how great Stetson Bennett is didn't think he could do it. Kirby Smart and that team thought he could do it. And ironically, the young man made a mistake and became a man possessed and was perfect down the stretch. Made big plays throughout the night. And if you really ask the question, Mason, this is what I said all the time. I said Georgia's defense and Alabama defenses are very similar, just very similar. Okay, and I would take Bryce Young against their defense over Stetson Bennett against our defense. Well, in a head-to-head calculation in that situation, I think Stetson, he made the plays he needed to make more than Bryce did. This definitely is not a loss on Bryce in any way, any conjecture there. I didn't say. I mean, it's just it's still a tough game, but kudos to Stetson Bennett. And hey, listen, if you're gonna lose a national championship game, if you're Alabama, I guess you lose it to the team that the only blemish that they had on their record was against you. And so congratulations to them. The phone lines are open, 205-342-9904. Taco Casa hotline open for business, so please get in on the conversation. Or you can add your thoughts and comments. I'll look at the chat comments as well and bring those into the conversation. We have Tom from Tuscaloosa. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin. How are you?
Good. How you doing, sir?
I am fine. On the way to work. Just the biggest takeaway for me last night, and I saw a lot of ex-Alabama players posted. When we get down there and you've got 4 cracks at it 2 or 3 times from the 5, you've got a guy that rushed for over 200 yards the week before. 4 downs to get 5 yards. Got to give the man the rock.
Well, hey, we lost twice this year, and what was the common theme between those 2 losses?
Not giving the man the rock down there and on the goal line. Not giving him the rock. And I'm just at loss for words for that. I really am. Even though I'm talking a lot this morning.
Yeah.
Got to give the man the rock.
I would agree.
A whole part of our game plan that had been for the last 4 or 5 games of the season, you just took it and put it back in the file cabinet.
Yeah.
And I hate it for B-Rob because he had meant so much to us down the stretch, worked so hard to come back. We laid on him, and then we just said, hey, we'll just use you a little here and a little there. And I think you give him the rock, I really believe it's a totally different game.
Yeah, Tom, you point out something, and you remember the 90? It would have, if we had scored, it had been a 98-yard drive.
Yes.
And no one's talking about this. And once again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just analyzing the game. No one said the key moment in the game. Number 88, Carter for Georgia. No one's saying anything about this. His injury. Okay? Remember how we were rolling? And then all of a sudden they had the extended injury. He was down on the field for a long time. And then he comes back. And 2 things happen after his injury, Tom. First of all, we come back out on the field and totally changed our game plan. We came back out, and remember how we were just throwing it short, throwing it quick, throwing it short, and running B-Rob? We came back out and tried to score immediately. Went back to the extended passing game, and all of a sudden, Carter, who was injured, was the guy who came in and blocked the field goal.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, was he faking? I don't know. Was he injured? I don't know. But there was key moments in this game And what made me think about that one was when you were talking about not feeding B-Rob, because when we came back from the break, we didn't feed B-Rob. And then down the stretch, no one's covered B-Rob yet. They still haven't covered, they hadn't covered B-Rob out of the backfield. They ain't covered Slade Bolton out of the backfield. And we totally went away. On that last drive, the play before Bryce threw that interception, I said, we're trying to get it all with one play. Take it and drive it. But anyway, you got anything else for me, Tom?
No, other than looking at the young receivers, not getting the big time, big game competition, playing after the game's already secured. Those young receivers, the future looks really bright. I think Seven's going to be terrific. And Hall, who had talked about, just leaving, transferring out, he made 3 or 4 catches last night and really contributed. And I'm glad Nick convinced him to stay because I think he's going to be a force to reckon with. And, it was a great year, man. And what do you say? The team that beat us, we split with them, just like you said a few moments ago. So we beat everybody we played, but A&M beat everybody we played.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough one, and you talk about experience. Experience is such a beautiful thing. I guarantee you, if Ajay Hall had it back again, that pass he caught at the goal line, he'd probably plant that foot and try to reach for the goal line. Remember, he caught it and just kind of ran out of bounds. It was just so many little things, little moments that was the difference. And they made them, we didn't. But like you said, I think a good year, a good season. Disappointing season because the only thing that we want in Tuscaloosa are national championships. But when you look back at this team, and I'm going to name some things, not as excuses, but in reality of what Nick Saban took to the last 5 minutes of a national championship game against what was considered the clear number one team, all but the last part of the season. I think Nick Saban and his staff overall did a great job with the season. There were some mistakes made in this game, even by him. I'm gonna have to call my coach out. He made a huge mistake, I think, at the end of the first half as well. And we'll see how that all turned out. But thanks, Tom. Appreciate you. Call back anytime, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was Tom from Tuscaloosa. The phone lines are open. We will not have DC this morning, so you need to fill in for him by calling us at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904, the Taco Casa hotline. Hey, listen, would love to hear your thoughts, your comments. Tom already hitting what was one of my big key moments, lack of running the ball in the red zone. We'll talk about that and more right here on the Martin Houston Show. Give us a call, 205-342-9904. Taco Casa hotline, open for business.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, everything pretty quiet. I think many people may be sleeping in after that game last night. Ooh, that was ugly. If you see conditions this morning, please give me a call, 205-886-8886. Come on in to Townsend Nissan for a great selection, low finance rates, and get top dollar for your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
COVID-19 has disrupted our lives, but it won't have the last word. We will. Across Alabama, thousands are getting vaccinated to protect themselves and others. Find out where you can get the COVID vaccine today at alabamaunites.com. Please get vaccinated. If you have symptoms, also get tested for COVID-19. Alabama unites against COVID. Sponsored by the ADPH, the ABA, and this station.
Your friends at BMW of Tuscaloosa are thankful for a great 2021. Our commitment for the future is to make 2022 an even greater year for our employees, friends, and customers. We're proud to be the exclusive West Alabama home of the incomparable BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Plus, an all-star lineup of pre-owned BMWs and other specially selected used automobiles. Whether what drives you is prestige, performance, dependability, or easy payments, get more bang for your buck at BMW of Tuscaloosa. Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com. Whether you're tailgating on the quad or gathering with family and friends to watch the Bama game, let Robertson's Barbecue do the cooking for you. Their tailgate specials include 2 pounds of BBQ or 2 chickens, quart of beans, slaw, potato salad, buns, sauce, and a 2-liter drink for $44.99 plus tax. Or get a whole Boston butt with buns, sauce, quart of beans, potato salad, slaw, and a 2-liter drink for $54.99 plus tax. For catering, call Renee Robertson at Robertson's Barbecue, 205-361-6806.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays cool and dry today with a good supply of sunshine. Tuscaloosa's high 52. Clear tonight with a low at 30. And for tomorrow and Thursday, partly to mostly sunny both days. Highs between 53 and 56 degrees. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 29 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Wow. Call up today. Give me a head-scratching moment. You may have several of them, may have none. But a couple of head-scratching moments. We're looking for those. We're looking for your shout-outs. If you want to shout out a player this morning, we'll do this. We'll do the shout-outs all throughout the off-season. Key moments in this game were things to look at. Was this Saban's best coaching year? What your takeaways and grades if you want to give it to them. A couple people this morning already given some chats. Chuck Hunt saying the team does not have anything to hang their head down about. Curtis Moore II. Unfortunately, injuries are part of the game. No excuses. It hurts, but I love the Tide. Roll Tide, of course, probably the biggest moment of the game. Key moment of the game. Jamison Williams on his big play across the middle goes down with the injury. Chuck Hunt pointing out how Saban handled the press conference, thanking Bryce Young and Will Anderson before leaving. He wanted to make sure that they were recognized. Curtis Lewis said poor coaching job on offense and at critical moments on defense. I agree on the offense. I'm not so sure that our defense was poor coaching. I love to hear some examples of that. I know the long run was not coaching, that was play. I think that maybe that last touchdown when we blitzed and that was a great play call by the Georgia Bulldogs, getting the ball to Bowers on that slip screen by the tight end, maybe that one. But I think the defense just ran out of gas. I think they just ran out of gas because offense just couldn't do enough. Even though we had longer drives, somehow at one point Georgia had higher possession. So it's still some other comments out there from the other CJ Washington saying good was defense, man. That defense, bad was injury to J-Mo, ugly level of play after J-Mo went down. It was hard to watch. I don't know if it was the level of play or the change in play calling. We'll talk about that all off season. Let's get to the phone lines. Robert from Mobile, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, the Bill O'Brien's play calling, it definitely isn't the level of Sarkisian. You know, it's the second time Alabama had to compete in a national championship game without their two biggest target receivers of the year.
Hey,
at some point.
Hey, watch this. You're down your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver, and you're down your number 1 and number 2 corners. And which 2 positions did you need in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
I mean, so give it to Georgia. Georgia exploited what they needed to do, and it hurts this morning, but wow. And nobody said this, Robert. It's possible, based on how these 2 guys recover from their knee injuries, that Jameson Williams and Mechie both could be back next year.
I don't see Williams coming back. The numbers I'm seeing on him for his draft stock are just too high.
His draft stock ain't been reevaluated yet. If he has an MRI torn ACL, it's different. If it's just a strain, then he's gone. He may be gone either way, but he's gonna fall in the draft if he's had an ACL surgery and they don't know, he's not gonna go as high. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, right. I think he'll go first round. Probably not season go first round and out anyway. But Messi, Messi gives this a chance. But the difference like there was the play caller Bill O'Brien. I think if Sarkisian was in the same situation, but he's done Sarkisian, I think we should pull a game out. He'll call plays and move routes, and like he did in the championship game against Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's defense was not nearly as good as Georgia's this year, so that does help a lot there too. But yeah, and like you guys said earlier about the not running the ball with when you first and went on the 5-yard line. We were all saying, hey, 2 straight runs, and maybe you pass on third down, but you can stop this when you first went on 5-yard line, throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Give a guy a chance.
Yeah. And Larry Miller said, good is defense, bad is Bryce Young, ugly is injuries. And Bryce did not play great, but I'm going to put some of that on you lose your best target. Because at one point, Bryce had 200 yards in the first half and would have had well over that had there not been an injury to Jameson Williams. I believe he would have had even more yards in the first half. And we're all saying the play calling didn't help. But here's my big question, Robert. What did we say changed things against Georgia outside of the offensive line play? It was Bryce Young's what? Legs. Did you know that Bryce Young did not run the ball? Bryce Young did not go past the line of scrimmage one single time last night.
Right. There was money time here, Bryce. You can't be saving yourself for the next week or anything. This is the time to go. And, you could have had George really on is he going to run or not. And you did. I mean, that does tend to be you really need to break that tendency if you want to go to the NFL. Because they're going to want to see that, especially somebody with your size. You got to show athleticism.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, man, you're too small to sit in the pocket all the time against NFL talent. You better show me you can cut. And another thing that hurt us, though, of course, was there's a lot of key drop balls that could have turned the game.
Yep.
Giant, dude, don't tweet anymore. I want you to not tweet you. Nothing about you not playing enough. You keep your mouth closed, and when you go on that field, then you let that speak for you. You had your chance. There was a touchdown catch right got in your hands on the big stage and you let it hit the ground. Now, I mean, Antler 2, he gave us one in the end, but he also missed another one that, man, if you want to make the NFL next level, you have to stand up and catch these balls when you across that goal line.
Yeah.
That's a couple of those key drops that really hurt us. But guys, don't tweet, don't talk, don't do nothing. You get the butt in there and you do like Devontae, work on those hands, and so the next time the championship game rolls around and you got a touchdown pass, you make it.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Have a good one, sir. All right. John Hall has been put on blast. Do not tweet. Xavier, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
What's up, Pops?
All right, what's up, man? No, you couldn't join me for the whole show, but what you got for us?
Yeah, you just look at last night. There was a lot of opportunities left on the field from the offensive standpoint. Key drops for sure. The red zone play calling again. Bama's lost 2 games this year, and I understand Georgia has a better run defense than Texas A&M does, but you have a guy sprinting his last game in Alabama who has already come out and said, I'm willing to leave it all out on the field, and we're inside the 10-yard line for the second time this year on multiple possessions. He hits 1 carry. Right? You're not going to win like that, especially with a defense like Georgia's, because they just condense everything down.
Yeah, and then we got down there, and when we did run it, we didn't run it to the edge. Those edge.
The one time we did, we ran it up the middle.
Their edge defenders did not want to tackle Brian Robinson.
Not one. Yeah, and that's the thing. I was talking to Tamara last night. He's 235 pounds. He gets to the point where he'd already laid the boom on a couple of them. Those guys don't want to hit him anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
He just losing Jameson was huge.
Yeah, it was.
Because that catch that he got hurt on was reminiscent of what got this ball rolling in the SEC championship.
Yeah, I will.
Not saying he scores on that play. No, I'm not saying that he scores on that play, but it was a big momentum play to all of a sudden that momentum came.
Right, and then also, I think part of the game plan, and I called it yesterday, was that Slade Bolden was going to have a Hunter Renfrow type of night, because they were going to leave him uncovered, and that's what was happening until they no longer had to worry about Jameson Williams. So it changed. It changed a lot, but you still have to keep the ball.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you look at the younger guys. This class that we have coming in, I see why it's the class that it has coming in. We've got big physical guys. We didn't have any speed outside of James this year.
Yeah.
And that was telling when there was no separation with those guys from Georgia DB.
Yeah. Yep. So let's. Well, man, I'm gonna get the break here. You got anything else before I let you go?
Yeah. Hey, I'll say one thing. This was a young team. This was Saban's youngest team. This was a team that wasn't supposed to be there. They made it. It does give me good hope and excitement for 2022. More experience, get some of these guys back from injury, some of these young guys who are able to play because of injury. It will be kind of reminiscent on the offensive side of the ball late in the year, and the younger DBs kind of reminiscent of the 2016 team that had a bunch of injuries.
Yeah. That
was better afterwards.
Yeah. Well, yep. And I think that, like I said, you're disappointed because we didn't win it. But if someone had said that we would get there at the beginning of the year with all of the young players and the injuries, we would have taken it. So appreciate you, sir. We'll catch up with you and have you on full time later this week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Veronica Taylor said, well, Bama favored to win it all next time. And that call was made immediately after the game with Georgia next and OSU. I'll take that. Plus, new recruits love a hungry Saban team looking to win. And when Kirby said Bama was injured, so he knows the deal. We'll continue the conversation right here on the Martin Houston Show. You can call us at 205-342-9904. Remember, Alabama won. Go check them out online at alabama1.org. Great promotions going on for home equity line of credit and balance transfers for your credit cards. Great savings, great interest rates, easy process. Go to alabama1.org online and you can get that process started or stop by one of our branch locations. That's alabama1.org.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, everything pretty quiet. I think many people may be sleeping in after that game last night. Ooh, that was ugly. If you see conditions this morning, please give me a call, 205-886-8886. Come on in to Townsend Nissan for a great selection, low finance rates, and get top dollar for your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
365, 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this state.
Crimson Village Senior Living is an assisted living and dementia care facility located in Tuscaloosa. The Crimson Village motto is "We Own Fun." We've extended our dementia care for the need of the community. If your loved one is in need of a home that specializes in memory care, provides fun and entertainment to help with cognitive skills, and is surrounded by fun-loving friends, please come take a tour at Crimson Village. Ask for Tim, 1410 18th Avenue East, Tuscaloosa, 35404. Visit crimsonvillage.com. That's crimsonvillage.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When it comes to anything electrical, contractors and do-it-yourselfers, go to Northport Electrical Supply for the supplies that you need. Whether it's commercial, industrial, or residential, get what you need and the know-how to get the job done at Northport Electrical Supply. They carry Eaton Power Distribution and WEG and Baldor Motors. So if you need electrical supplies, stop by Northport Electrical Supply. Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, next to Northport Auto Supply on Highway 82 in Northport. Stop by Northport Electrical Supply.
Fall is here, and it's time to hit the woods or trail in your ATV or side-by-side from Redline Power Sports on Highway 43 North at Tierce Patton Road in Northport. Stop by today, and Redline Power Sports can show you how they can save you big bucks. Redline Power Sports also sells boats and jet skis. They have a full-service repair shop for ATVs, side-by-sides, boats, and jet skis. Redline Power Sports, open Monday through Saturday on Highway 43 North at Tierce Patton Road in Northport. Call 737-7425.
Nick Saban calls it the process.
John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline open, also chat open. Matt Wallace said, just remember, it took the best team UGA has had since 1980 to beat one of the worst Alabama teams in Saban history. Virgil Williams saying, we had some bad breaks in the injury department, but I still bleed crimson. I said it all year. Virgil Williams continued and called it. The weeks coming into the college football playoff, the officiating had an impact. Not saying it cost us a game, but that it had a major impact and terrible play calling. All of those comments from Virgil Williams. We got Curtis on the phone line. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show, and I saw you said something about did they give the Georgia Bulldogs Alabama gear?
Yeah, they gave them Alabama gear. They had to snatch it off their heads and stuff before they realized it. Several players walked around with Alabama champions on the stuff. I said, wait, ain't that Alabama gear?
I know that's not what you called in for. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah. This is one of the few times I have to say B-Rob was not used enough. B-Rob had a good game. He was running that ball, but they wasn't throwing it to him enough out the backfield. They wasn't putting him in the blame. Enough variety in how we used our running backs. It was obvious they was keying on Bryce. It was obvious they was keying on the passes to receivers, even though our receivers, once Jama went down, couldn't catch a cold or a high wind. But that game plan just didn't make any sense. And then, of course, when Georgia went up, and it was only, about 7 minutes or so like that in the game, and we're still sitting in a two-deep shell and playing off the receivers. I'm like, they're not going to throw that ball. They're going to run that ball. And we still sat back and did not make the defensive changes to prevent the run, force that kid to throw that ball, or even let them run into a brick wall. But we didn't do that either. They just kept going right up the gut with it and slashing them. We had offensively, play calling was just pathetic the whole game.
Yeah.
And defensively, we played a great game until we got to that point.
Yeah. And that's I guess that's what the frustration part for me was on offense. It's like we were just so impatient. Like that I said, we're going to have a 98 drive right here and break their will. And we were doing it. And like I said, I still question whether number 88 was really hurt. Nobody said anything, but they rested. But then we changed. It was like not only did they get rested, but we came out, we were running B-Rob off the edge. We were running halfback angles and quick out routes to the backs. I mean, to the wide receivers. Yeah. And then we came out and we tried to throw the ball down the field. After that, and I'm like, we're at the 30. It's going to be tighter windows already. Why are we doing this? But anyway, go ahead, man. I'll give it back to you. You call the talk. So.
Well, you hit it dead on the head. I mean, we should have had a lot more variety in our play calling with the running backs. A lot more variety. And Bryce should have been set with runs that were predetermined run plays for the quarterback because they wasn't let him sit back there and throw that ball. No matter what happened, he wasn't going to have the time to throw it. Even if they didn't sack him, they were going to affect the quarterback, and that's what they were doing.
Right.
Like at some point, put Bryce out on the edges. Let him roll out with the thing. Give him the run pass option out there. Don't just let him sit back there in that pocket.
Yep.
That's just not working.
Yep. And that's what got frustrating is we didn't call any runs, and he did not run it. I mean, it was a couple times where that defensive end came flying up the field, and that pie. I mean, it opened up. It was one time it showed it from behind. And he could have ran probably 20 yards before he got anybody. We had nobody down the middle of the field, and I guess part of that, Curtis, I don't know what Billingsley did this year. I don't know. I mean, that guy I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
He just disappeared. He ghosted us.
I feel that we're going to have a lot of guys hit that transfer portal within the next week or two. Because a lot of the guys, I think, are just going to move on. Because we definitely got guys on the team who contribute, but we also got guys on the team who don't seem to be involved in where the team is going. So
yeah,
I think we'll end up seeing a lot of that. But as far as Bill O'Brien goes, yeah, he's got to get that OC job somewhere else other than Alabama. He doesn't have no variety for the college game.
No,
I really believe, but we've had stock at that game. We'd have won that game.
Yeah. It was disappointing, and I think the biggest thing is for me is he has no ability to. Once J-Mo went down, it looked like we made an adjustment on that 98-yard. I keep saying 98-yard drive. When we drove off the 2-yard line, I said, okay, we've adjusted. We're gonna spread it. We're gonna, instead of going 100 yards deep, vertical, we're gonna make Georgia play sideline to sideline. We did it that one drive coming off the goal line, and then we went away from it. And then, of course, the biggest thing, one change, as much as we've complained, and I had to let you go at this, Curtis. If we run the ball at the 5, with the way our defense was playing, run the ball, and if you don't score on 4 plays, let them drive it 99 yards on us. And I got one question for you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey, one of the greatest coaches in the world, could you explain to me why we let that clock run down at the first half when we had them backed up and could have got the ball and got a quick field goal at least?
I blame his meds or something because I didn't understand that either. You got to sit there and let the clock run, then you're going to call it with 22 seconds on the clock. What is the common sense in that?
I was like,
you got plenty of time.
Somebody tell me what just happened. I was sitting I was like, what happened? So anyway, I appreciate it, Curtis. I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about in the off season, man. Go ahead. All right. Hey, George from Macon, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Not too much, Martin. The sun did come up today, like you said. I tell you what my take on the game was. We just didn't have enough juice to get that extra inch to get this run. Our defense played a fantastic game, but we didn't give them enough help, I don't believe.
Right.
And when you're having to get field goals instead of touchdowns, I was very concerned. Also, I think it shows that you can have great talented receivers, but if they don't experience, Zatu should have caught that touchdown pass. Algie, he had a couple opportunities that were drops. They weren't helping Bryce out a whole lot as far as catching the ball.
Yeah, George, think about this. How many did you see that play where he threw the pass to Ja'Cory Brooks and Ja'Cory Brooks only stuck up one hand?
Absolutely. I didn't quite understand that. That should have been a call.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
There are about 4 or 5 plays where the ball should have been caught. And I promise you, when the Latu did not make that catch, I said, we're going to have to settle for a field goal. And we did. And if we'd have just, made a couple of touchdowns instead of field goals, it would have been a whole different complexion. But we were not, our defense, our offense was not helping out our defense by settling for field goals.
Right.
We're often having to put them on the spot, and so they gave out, because I really do think that Georgia kept pounding and pounding and pounding, and once we gave them that second life of that quick touchdown after we scored,
it was over.
That was kind of the game. That was it.
Yeah, they when they got that 19, when they scored on that offsides play, that was one of the momentum swings. Went wrong way. So it was tough after that. Jamie McGee said the young receivers need some stickum.
They do. I mean, it was like, they've never, obviously they haven't played in big time games, and they haven't played against defenses that really are on you the whole time and physical you. This I will say that I'm not one to make excuses. The game is a tough game. You have injuries, but they were awful rough. That the referees let their defense be awful rough with Bryce Young. There were times that there should have been called some penalties.
Yeah.
That I felt like were kind of late or were a little bit egregious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bryce Young is tough.
Yeah. Yeah. They it was a couple times. They did call one, but he got hit in the head with a left club several times. Several times they went to his head. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Georgia. Hey, man, we'll have a great all season. We'll look forward to being back. Veronica Taylor said had a few sassy Georgia folks calling into our post-game shows last night. They shouldn't be talking until they can make sure this isn't a 40-year one-hit wonder against a battered team. All right, thanks, George. Have a good one, man. Coming back on the other side, we'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show with the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we have a fire reported in the 3300 block of 27th Street on the west side with emergency crews on the scene. Please avoid this area. If you see other conditions, give us a call. Come on in to Townsend Nissan for a great selection, low finance rates, and get top dollar for your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending.
Rock and Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
At Church's, we're doing 10 pieces of our crave-worthy Comfort Made Spicy or Classic. That's 10 legs and thighs packed with bold flavor. That's how we do value. So you can do the Church's 10 starting at $10.99 deal. Churches bringing a down-home flavor.
Offer valid at participating locations. Hey, Bama football fans, you don't have to search all over to find the largest selections of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models in West Alabama. The all-new Tuscaloosa Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is here to service you at our location on Skyland Boulevard. New owners bring a new commitment to our white glove sales and service. Great deals at our end-of-summer sales on the new 2021 Dodge Ram 1500 Bighorn pickup truck with 0% APR for 72 months with no payment for 90 days when you finance through Chrysler Capital. Check out our inventory online at TuscaloosaCDJR.com or come by and see us at 550 Skyland Boulevard East, Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide.
Home is where you want it to be in your new RV from Burton Campers in Calera. Campers specializes in towables. Right now, every travel trailer and fifth wheel is at the lowest price of the year. Nobody sells them for less. Come let us prove it. If you're tired of being stuck at home, take home on the road. See America in your new Burton Campers RV. Be certain with Burton. Burton Campers at exit 231 on I-65 in Calera. Nobody sells RVs for less.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. And Bama fans, I don't need y'all to get this started on this comparison stuff. I'm calling you Larry Miller. You saying that Larry Miller said there were a few drops, but we've also been blessed with QBs that are very accurate. Bryce Young is the most accurate quarterback of all of the quarterbacks. While Bryce is a great quarterback, he doesn't have the arm of Mac or Tua. Mac and Tua, if you give Bryce Young his two receivers back, I think we're looking at a different story. So I don't want this to turn into a Bryce Young whipping post in the offseason, Bama fans. Let's not start this. Bryce Young is the best quarterback Alabama's had in any era under Nick Saban and probably potentially the best ever. He had a rough night last night. I'll give you that. He threw some bad passes, but some of that is when you lose your top two receivers. What guy lost their top two receivers? Who and still were able to do what they did down the stretch with inexperienced guys. So I'm gonna pass on that one, Larry. I'm gonna let you simmer on that in the off season if you think that Bryce Young is not the man. Woo! 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 All right, Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir? Chuck, you still there? Maybe Chuck.
I'm still here.
All right, what's on your mind, sir?
Okay, I want to call it the young men don't have anything to hang their heads about. There are many college programs wishing to be in a position they've been. And the thing about it, I look at, I want to thank Eli Gold, John Parker Wilson, and Chris Stewart and Butch Owens for bringing the boot camp through the season. And while I was watching that, while I was watching the games, and my father was watching the game as well, and he knows he really, when he's watching Bryce Young, he felt sorry for the young man. It's like he was watching a grandson play, and he looked, and we saw the breakdown at the offensive line, and it was there's some. I know they probably have to, in recruiting they're going to have to look for some offensive linemen, and also the young men from my home state. I look at the guys from my area like Playbook and Fedarian Mathis, and then you have on the other end of the state Christian Harris from Baton Rouge, who played on the campus of LSU. Yeah. At LSU Laboratory High, and I feel for those young men as well. But Coach Saban gave them an opportunity to play, and people on social media are so horrible. They get on here and do all the ranting and everything else. But the thing about it, they don't have anything to talk about. Bama has been where a lot of these programs are wishing to get to.
Yeah, and that's what I say, Chuck. I don't want it to become a gripe. I want to be careful that we don't turn into a gripe session as Bama Nation and start finding a whole. Let's analyze the game and say what went wrong. But let's not start this whole comparison thing to because there's not a quarterback at Alabama that would have not a single quarterback that Nick Saban has had would have got this team to this point. In my opinion, I don't think so. But at the same time, he could have played better last night. And at the same time, he did lose all of his receivers. And he already had lost his best receiver. I mean, his most reliable receiver. Then he lost his best receiver on top of that in the game. And so now he's playing with a bunch of guys he's not practiced with a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So anyway, appreciate you, Chuck, man. Thanks for that insight. And you're right. We got to get some O-line in transfer portal, or some O-linemen going to have to step up. Thank you, sir. All right. Hey, listen, Alabama Crimson Tide came up short. We're going to be talking about hey, listen, this is more than one day show. We'll be talking about other key moments in the game, the end of the half, injuries, the offside penalty, red zone utilization of the running backs, no Bryce Young runs, inconsistent game plan. Looked like we were kind of confused. But shout out to that defense. Shout out to Slade Bolden. Shout out to B-Rob and others, and we'll get to those. Next year, let's look at turning the page. We have got to get some speed at wide receiver. We got to be able to take the top off if Jameson Williams is not back on this team. Was this Saban's best coaching job, even though we came up a little short? All of that conversation is what we'll talk about into the offseason. Glad that you're a part of the Tide 109 family in the Martin Houston Show. We do it every Monday through Friday from 6 to 7. Whether Alabama wins the national championship or not, that doesn't dictate whether we're here talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. This is Martin Houston. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, chatters, viewers, all of you as the fans. Thanks to Mason behind the glass, pressing all the right buttons. Hey, come back tomorrow. And remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.